So I did a video June of 2019 on throwbacks I'd like to see. And so I went back and I looked over that video to make sure I'm not going to repeat myself in this video where I'm going to talk about throwbacks again. Why? Because Ottawa's changing their logo back to what it was before with a minor tweak. And of course, Buffalo, they're going back to what their colors were before with some tweaks in there to the logo and making it look a little cleaner than what it did originally. And so I want to make sure I'm not going to repeat myself. Now, of the jerseys that I showed last time, the Flames, their white 80s jersey, of course, they wore that as their heritage jersey this year against Winnipeg. I didn't get the Winnipeg one I wanted, which was the 90s style, but I did get a blue heritage. So I guess I'll take those as wins. The ones I didn't get, a Bruins 70s style. We haven't seen a Nordiques yet, although Colorado started talking about it. The Green Star for Dallas has not yet made its return. I'm going to go ahead and say maybe next year if they finish off what they're doing right now as I record this. No, I won't say it. We didn't get a white 80s style from the Bruins, which I'll get into more as I get into this one. Purple 80s style from the Kings. We didn't get that. The original Sharks, you know, they did the Reebok throwback. I think they're supposed to do a throwback again this year for their 30th anniversary, so I don't really need to get into the Sharks when I get into this list. The Leafs, a blue version of the 80s style with the old maple leaf, you know, the one that Leaf fans hate. I don't think we're going to get that, but I do like that jersey. Canucks, I had the skate with the V's on the shoulders is one I'd like to see as a throwback. I'm wearing Johnny Canuck today, and I'm not going to show Canucks jerseys because, of course, they did the skate throwback, which it's anticlimactic. But again, that seems to be what the internet wants, and it feels like sports are sort of following movies and TV shows. Okay, now don't come up with something new. Got it. So you want more sequels and reboots. Absolutely. And better yet, why don't we get sports in on this too? Because we're going to have reboots and we're going to have sequels and we're going to make sure that new designs don't get out there because that's just when the crazy stuff happens. And of course, for people who say, well, we should have new designs, then you can just bring out like the Burger King jersey and people go, oh, God, don't think of anything new. So there's that. Anyways, yeah, so the Jets 90s, I had the Caps, the Eagle, the old Eagle in blue. I'd still like to see that come back at some point, some kind of an Eagle-style jersey. Of course, Ovechkin wants it. Maybe they can get into Ovechkin's contract that he gets that. But that being said, and watching that video, it shows me just how much weight I've lost in my face, which is... It reminds me of that John Panette line, how big was my head? Because he says, you know, when he started losing weight, everybody said, I can really see it in your face. And he said, wow, how big was my head? Anyways, let us go through. I'm going to go through in alphabetical order as I did last time. And I'm going to bring out some jerseys that I think we could see either as thirds, throwbacks, or maybe a team at some point goes back to it. And again, Ottawa going back, Buffalo going back. Sure, why not? And we'll just call those jerseys reboots. How does that sound? So we're just going to go ahead and reboot the franchise, which in Ottawa and Buffalo's case, maybe that's the plan. Huh? See, there you go. All right, let's start it up. First alphabetically is Anaheim, and therefore, I'd like to see some kind of an updated version of the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. You could just take the Mighty out of there and have Ducks. I love the colors on this. I love this jersey. I know when we went to Anaheim in January, I was like, oh, I want to get that jersey. And then I saw the price of it in the store, and I was like, I don't want to get that not for that price. And yeah, I know the Mighty Wing is the one that, you know, is the holy grail of jerseys and all that for me, but I wouldn't want to see it back on the ice. It's one of those things that, you know, you go, that sounds like a fun idea. And then as soon as you see it on the ice, everybody will be like, my God, what have we done? Oh, what have we done? It's sort of like me in Vancouver with the V, right? If the Flying V actually was on the ice being worn in a game, I would think, man, I've done some horrible things, and this is the worst. I would like to see this, though, in a third. I'd like to see what they could do with it now. And again, I'm not saying just bring this back. I'm saying an updated version of this. I think it could be a winner. I know people like the orange third. I like the orange third. I think you could do an updated version of this, though, because we're going to have fourth jerseys this year as well. We got back the black version of this. Why haven't we got the white version yet? I mean, eventually I think Arizona changes back to the Kachina full-time anyways, but I don't know why we haven't got the white version yet. I know this is kind of a cheat because I had the white one the last time around, but I'd like to see this. Now, of course, you have to update these. That's crazy looking. And when I was a kid, I thought it was a tiger. When I was a kid, I thought they were tigers on their sleeve because I'd never seen a bear that looks like that. So, yeah, this is my Bruins, my Adamotes. And, yeah, I mean, I'd like to see a return to this style. I think at some point we do. We've seen Boston use their 40s style. We've seen them do a 70s style throwback too. At some point, this will be back on the ice for the Bruins. All right, now this one is more along the lines of I'd like to see the mascot on the sleeve one more time. So this is not a let's go back to this, and that logo is not as sharp as what they have now. But I'd like to see the bug back on the shoulder, just for a game, just for some kind of a 20th anniversary kind of thing, and we may end up seeing that. But yeah, so for Columbus, and again, if I skip a team, it's because I don't think they need to do a throwback, or they've already done throwbacks, or they've already got a really nice looking jersey and they don't need to change anything. So you guys can go ahead and decide on which one of those things I might have decided to skip: Carolina, Chicago, Calgary, Buffalo, and Colorado. So, but Buffalo, I mean, they're going back to their originals anyway, so I don't need to say anything. But yeah, Columbus, I think they could have some fun with this. I don't often ask for much, but if the Minnesota North Stars, and I don't care whether the Wild do this or Dallas does this, I'd like to see a North Stars jersey on the ice again at some point. Carolina did it with the Whalers, and it made people upset at first, and then they realized they really didn't care. And yeah, Minnesota. I'd like to see. This one too. I picked specifically because the double stripe, and this is the one they had in the 70s, and I think it's a really sharp looking jersey. I'd love to see some version of this on the ice. And this, of course, was before they had black integrated into their design as well. I think it's really unique and different. And so it'd be nice to see some kind of a throwback to the Minnesota North Stars. Florida's been in the league long enough to have a throwback, right? Yes, they have. They have been around long enough. And I'd like to see some updated version of this. I do still prefer this logo to what they have currently. That being said, the new logo has sort of grown on me over the last couple of years, which is fine. But this is... I think it'd be really sharp if they brought this back in some form. Yep. Purple. LA. Make it happen. I still think that should be their color. Whether they use an old design or a new one or whatever they do. I've always loved the logo. I've always loved the design in general. Yeah, the neckline's kind of... the gray around the neck isn't all that great. You can clean that up. Like I said, I'm not saying go back to exactly these. But these are sharp jerseys. I was always upset when they changed away from these. The crown I was okay with, but the logo they have now, I just find it kind of bland. So I would love to see some kind of a purple throwback that they use. I'd rather it wasn't the current logo. I'd rather it was just the crown. But, we'll see. And again, this is my favorite of their logos, which is why I picked this one for today. But do I see it happening? Probably not. It wouldn't be a video of me talking about jerseys and what I'd like to see if I didn't mention I like Nashville jerseys better in blue. Striping, do whatever you want with it, but I've always liked Nashville jerseys better in blue. If the Rangers would like to print money, they'll bring this back. Yeah, Lady Liberty, it's a no-brainer. It just works. Update it if you want to, but then you just get to print money. I think most Flyers fans would love this idea, going back to the old Bobby Clark era color. Again, all the design is basically exactly the same as what they have now. I don't understand why they have the extremely bright orange on their jersey, much less Edmonton. I honestly, the huge, bright, shining orange needs to go, I think, out of the NHL. I think the burnt orange works a lot better. But again, maybe it's just me. St. Louis, I know they just did their 90s throwback, and it's nice. I really like it in an Adidas. Here's the 80s one I'd like to see them do something with. The logo, the colors, everything's a little bit different on this than on most of the Blues jerseys. Wouldn't mind seeing this one come back in some form. That would actually be Be kind of fun, and I think Blues fans would approve of that. Let me know if you're a Blues fan, if you would approve of seeing this in an Adidas brand new style. Now, I know this is one that's not going to happen, but I wish it would. I really do. I wish we could see this back in a hockey game somehow. I don't know how. I don't know how you'd make it work. I mean, Carolina wore Hartford, so but of course the thing is that Winnipeg fans would say no. You can't wear Thrashers. Thrashers aren't part of our history. All right, it's just too bad because I love this color of blue. I always thought their logo was underrated. I thought the jersey design was actually underrated, and it's too bad that we'll never see it on the ice again. So that's kind of where this is at, which is these are designs I'd like to see used. I'd like to see brought back, that kind of thing. We're gonna reboot everything. Why not reboot something that looks kind of fun? But anyways, let me know in the comment section below which ones you'd like to see brought back. Which ones you'd like to see NHL teams use that they aren't using, or an updated version of it that you think would look kind of snazzy. Let me know. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.